Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's session, Put Your Library in Users' Hands with Capira Mobile. I'm Josh Hickman, Solution Strategist for Capira and WISE with OCLC. And with me today is Library Services Consultant Jessica Rathjen. So we all know how critical mobile devices are to our communities. For many, they're the only reliable means of accessing the internet, and for many others, mobile apps have become the primary means of interacting with any organization's web services, from shopping to ordering food to keeping up with the latest fashion trends. As Eric Kleinenberg wrote in Palaces for the People, communications technologies work best and fulfill us most when they direct us to physical places that everyone can access. So let's use that idea as our starting point for exploring Capira Mobile. And so I'm going to start things off by handing over to Jessica.
Thanks, Josh. So, most of us receive multiple push notifications on our phones daily. And this could be alerts for the Rover app, like my phone, for my pet sitter, or my humidifier alerting me my tank is empty. Josh's phone right here, as an example, he's falling behind on his Portuguese lessons, so he's not going to be maybe ready for his trip coming up. So we, as users of mobile devices are so used to multiple push notifications. Wouldn't it be great to reach your library patrons on that same level of fast and easy communication? Capira Mobile can actually offer you the ability as library staff members to send out notifications to your patrons fast and easy. On my screen here on the right, you actually have a sneak glimpse of a new feature coming this summer, which will allow patrons to opt into the type of push notifications they would like to receive. So Capira Mobile, like I mentioned, does offer push notifications, and not only that, we offer 3 different types of push notifications. So custom notifications, which are my pink arrow here. This is alerting me to events coming up, time-sensitive information pushed out by the library. Samuels is using this as a really great plug for their Spring Fling drive-through book giveaway. There's also patron account notifications, and those are notifications automatically sent from your ILS for those authenticated accounts within the Capira mobile app. And you can have multiple accounts authenticated. So this could be alerts that our items are ready for pickup. You have items that are overdue. Your library card is about to expire. And then there's also the third type, which are the in-app notifications. And these are non-time sensitive notifications. So NYPL heavily utilizes this feature, alerting community members. Just recently, a few months ago, all public library locations are now officially open. So really great to keep your patrons informed in app. And one of the biggest questions we initially hear when we're talking about how we would build a library app for your community is, how does this interact with our ILS? So we have a direct integration with your ILS. We work with most ILS vendors, some of the most popular ones here listed on our screen. And from consortium to standalone, small to large, we love partnering with public libraries to create custom mobile library apps. And some of our partner libraries are listed on this screen as well.
Great. So with Capira Mobile, your library's app will be easily available via the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store for Android devices, and even Amazon for use on Kindle devices. And what's more, your app will be hosted, so there's no need for your library to create developer accounts, which means no additional work or hidden costs. As Jessica brings up some examples here, I'm going to go ahead and slide our display over. So your patrons are going to simply be able to search for your app, like we see here for Greenville County Library System in South Carolina, and they'll be ready to enjoy your virtual branch right away. So next, let's take a look at patron accounts in Capira mobile apps. And so Capira Mobile provides intuitive, simple account management for your patrons. And we're going to start off looking at Brooklyn Public Library's app. And as we can see here, they've chosen to arrange a variety of functionality under the My Account section. And under Manage Accounts here, patrons can add not only their own account information, they can also add family members' accounts so that they can manage material for them in addition to their own. So to do that, Jessica will just click on Add Account, and then she can enter in the other user's barcode or username and PIN or password. And now when she goes to features like her checkouts, she'll have the option to select either hers or one of her other accounts like Jamie's. Now, of course, clicking on the My Checkouts, patrons can select one or more items to renew them, clicking on Manage Selected. And then going into My Holds, patrons can manage their existing holds, again, by selecting one or more of the holds that they already have up. And here, once they manage those, clicks on Manage there, they'll be able to allow patrons to freeze or unfreeze or cancel their holds. And this will give them the ability to hang on to their spot in the hold queue when, say, they go on vacation, even if they only remember to do that once they reach the airport and are looking for their boarding passes. So we can see how patrons will also be able to access their digital library cards, and this will allow them to access their barcode and number when they approach self-checkout machines. And so as patrons get used to contactless services using, say, a digital wallet to access their bank and credit accounts, they'll now have that same ability to leave their physical library cards at home. So next, it's back over to Jessica for a look at the library catalog in Capira Mobile.
Thanks, Josh. So we connect with your ILS for real-time connection. We can also utilize the scopes you already have in place in your OPAC. So I really dig how New York Public Library decided to offer their catalog and their catalog scoping. So by far the most popular way to search in your catalog is typically keyword. So if I do a quick keyword search of catcher rye, it's going to pull back real-time results from their ILS, which is Sierra. And I'm going to be able to see all items in their catalog. Catcher in the Rye, you know what, I want to filter this down a little bit more. So very intuitively, I can hit filters. I can filter by search type, item type, location, language, available items only. So it really gives you in control of how you are searching for items. So if I were to click, you know, I would like the print book. It is going to pull back those item details for me. And coming soon this summer, I should also mention a really great feature. We are integrating with Goodreads. So on this page, you're also going to be able to see similar items that are available in your catalog. Also reviews directly from Goodreads for this item. If I were to hit place hold, it's going to ask me for who am I placing this hold for? What location would I like to pick this up from? And first available copy would have a bit more of options if this was a volumized item or a magazine, similar type to that. So that is one way you can offer your catalog scoping. Cumberland County, they used their analytics they already had in place, and they decided to do pre-scoped filters for patrons to choose from. So I can see that graphic novels are very popular in their community. I can click that and immediately search for graphic novels. Or I could do an advanced search right away. They are also pulling not only from their ILS, but from their e-content as well. So if I were obsessed with Normal People on Hulu, I open my libraries app, I can search for it, and immediately I'm going to be able to see all records in the catalog, all e-content for Normal People. And apologies, our Wi-Fi is a bit slow here, but I'm going to be able to immediately see book is available, ebook, e-audiobook, immediate consumption of material. So, you know, there also, self-service is really great. I can come to the library and use the mobile checkout feature, check those items out if I did place a hold on a physical item. And self-service is so important right now in libraries. Josh is going to continue talking about self-service.
Excellent. So, in addition to some of those self-checkout options, there's other options with Capira for self-service. And for that, let's go over to Chester County. So when it's time to renew library accounts, patrons can use their app to do that too. So looking at the My Account section here, patrons will be able to use the select the Get Renew a Library Card option. And here they can add in their account information. And then they can use the options below to access their phone camera to submit images of their photo ID and also a recent utility bill in order to confirm their address, just like they can do when they submit images of checks to deposit into their accounts when using mobile banking apps. So having an easy, accessible account renewal process like this is really certain to boost your library's patron retention efforts. And of course, back at the top here, new patrons who have downloaded the app will be able to apply for cards this way as well. So they'll be able to start using library resources right away in accordance with library policy. Now, Chester County has, like many other Capira libraries, integrated their events calendar into their app. So, Jessica, can you tell us a little bit more about how Chester County is using Capira Mobile to support and promote their events?
Of course, Josh. And I think, one of the things we're so proud of as app developers for public libraries is that we are pretty much agnostic when it comes to the services you're using. So when we're building your library app, it does not matter what event calendar system you're using. We will try our best to seamlessly integrate it through either APIs, JSON feeds, RSS feeds, and that is included with discovery layers, e-resources as well. So for Chester County, their event calendar system, I can click events and I'm pulling direct integration from their event calendar, all of the events taking place at their library. I can click a, virtual saplings and I can see all of the item details pulled in. I can also register for this event, add to my calendar, which would add that event calendar directly to my device's calendar. If I was overwhelmed with the events here, I can also use scopes. So library location, event category, and there are even more scopes to utilize dependent on your event calendar system. So we integrate, again, as much content as possible, what you want to offer your patrons for an easy-to-use app. And Josh is going to go over a little bit about how much information for your library you can place in the app.
Excellent. Thank you, Jessica. And for that, we're going to take a look over at LA Public Library's app. And we can see the flexibility that libraries have to customize the arrangement of information about the library and its services using Capira mobile design options. So when patrons click on library information here, they'll see that LA has opted for a clean view with relatively simple icons. And in addition to things like social media links and more, they've also added locations, which includes a map view of their branch locations. And with this map view, patrons are going to be able to zoom in and out and scroll around using this option. And when they tap on any location, that will call up information about that branch, including options to access directions and contact that location as well. Now, you're probably wondering how you can keep this information up to date as things change, and we know that that happens quite frequently these days. So with the Capira Customer Management Console, that's a breeze. And so I'm going to hand things back over to Jessica for more about that.
Thanks, Josh. And while I pull up my screen, that is so important. Things are rapidly changing in public libraries today. It used to be a few months you might be able to approve by a board to change your hours. Now it almost seems like it's weekly. So how do I offer those changes rapidly in my mobile library app? So we have a customer management console that would be provided to the library post-development of your app. And we are not providing the library with a blank interface and saying, here you go, figure it out. We are developing your app, and then we're handing this console over to you to control the content in app. So immediately on the home screen, I can see any upcoming maintenance. I can see basic analytics right away. If my marketing department or my team decided to add a new icon or new functionality in that, I can immediately choose from an icon provided by OCLC from a large database, or I can add my own. So if I wanted to do a young Leonardo DiCaprio for my search of the catalog, because who wouldn't want that? I could upload that image and use that as my own icon. I can also update pickup locations, so I can disable a location if it's temporarily closed, add new locations myself. Update branch information. I can include photos, hours, closings, if the location is accessible. Any sort of information you would like here. And multiple, so how is your event calendar being pulled in? What are those filters? Are you offering mobile checkout right now, or do you want to temporarily suspend the service? Do you want to offer mobile checkout through RFID or simple barcode? Carousel features. And again, we are agnostic when it comes to what we are pulling into your app. So do you want to do a carousel feed from your ILS? Do you want to do a carousel feed from your discovery layer? And multiple carousel feeds, because why not? Because they're so pretty. And then screens. So if you wanted to add a screen for summer reading and then remove it come the end of the summer, 100% up to the library. Styles, I can immediately change and update my colors. If I wanted to do a fun Halloween theme for one day only, I can make this orange and black, the app, and then remove those and update it to the original branded marketing standard colors. And earlier in our demo, we talked a little bit about notifications. So we, as a company, we know that not all events patrons are interested in. So you can create specific alert types that patrons can opt into. So as a library, I can say emergency closures, system management, maintain outages are required. However, patrons can opt into Friends of the Library, new services, special events. And as a staff member, I can pre-schedule alerts, or I can create alerts for right away. And this would be great for inclement weather, closures, send an alert out to a community. But I can also tag it as an emergency closure or Friends of the Library. And those who have opted into Friends of the Library would receive that and only receive that. So I want to say thank you from Josh and I for attending today's event. If you have any questions, please feel free to find us afterwards. We'll be in the booth.